Change your hair.
Thanks, Andrew.
No, it looks different though. Looks good. Wasn't sure. You could change your mask too. Dr. Jill, personalized it like that.
I like to actually make it a little bit shorter, but the Chicago lady do that versus the Utah lady.
We said we want hair dye in the district office.
Yes, that would be nicer.
Everything's up on the right.
So you see, try to they say that's his doppelganger. Yes, my brother signed up for his cancer, so that's how we look it up from here.
I love it.
Yeah. Then my dad got home, just like.
All right, should we do this?
Do it. We need a new extra by the way.
All right, let's call to order this regular session meeting of the Park City School Board on August 17th at 4 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance. Anne, would you like to say that? Sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
All right, let's move to the consent agenda. Can I please get a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes regular session minutes of June 15, work session minutes of June 29, accounts payable registers of June 4th, 7th, 14th, 21st, 22nd, 30th, July 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 13th, 14th, 19th, 22nd, 31st, August 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and August 10th, 2021. Early literacy plan approval, special education policy manual, travel request, contracts, personnel information, July expenses, and revenues.
I make a motion to approve as read.
Second?
Any discussion?
No.
No.
No. Perfect. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. That is unanimous. Let's move on to employee groups. I think we have Jake here with the PCEA. Yeah?
Cool.
Well, welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a few weeks, right? Howdy, everybody. It's nice to. I know I've met some of you, not all of you, but it's good to be speaking in front of everybody, and we're excited for the year. So I have a little statement that we wrote from PCEA, fairly short. So I'll just share it. Howdy everyone, my name is Jake Joe, and I'm the new co-president of the Park City Education Association. Mary Morgan, our other co-president, regrets she cannot attend today. She's dropping her daughter off for college down in St. George. First, I'd like to thank the firefighters, community leaders, first responders, and the general public for the work on the Parley's Canyon fire. It's been a scary time for many of our members and students and their families, I'm sure for some of you in the room as well. And the work from fire crews has been tremendous. There's not enough thanks to go around the community for the folks who risked their lives to save homes and livelihoods. And thanks for the district for working with us and making us this flexible for the start of the year, because like I said, it's been scary for a lot of folks. We appreciate it. PCA would like to restate our members' desire to have masks mandated in schools as we begin the school year for the safety of our students and teachers. We understand the district's limited in its powers, but appreciate their work with the Public Health Department for seeking the safest options to maintain effective in-person learning. After a difficult, but I would say successful 2020-21 school year for everyone in Park City, we believe masks can get us past this pandemic with a vaccine for younger children in summer. Our most important goal for this school year is establishing relationships and trust between our members, ourselves, and the district. We have an entirely new leadership board at PCEA. Not totally true, but 4 of the 6 of us are new. And we are excited to begin developing the new relationships necessary to support our members effectively. We're committed to honesty and transparency with our members and with the district. There won't always be easy solutions to problems, and we won't always agree on how to address them. We believe through honesty, assumptions of positive intent, and mutual respect, we can make progress. We know many of the challenges ahead are complex. We are excited to work with the school board, district office, and our members to continue providing a quality education for the residents of Park City. Thank you for your time this afternoon, and again, thanks for all the work you're doing with the fires and schools, and people just really appreciate it. So thank you for that a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Who would like to go first? Dr.
Dr. Amy.
I will go first. How's that?
Okay.
Well, good afternoon. I've had such a good couple of days walking through our schools. It's fun to visit with our teachers and staff members. And I'm always really impressed at the clever ways that they plan to welcome our students back into school. I enjoy seeing all the new bulletin boards. They're pristine and clear, and there's little names where future work is going to go. And it's hard for me really to hide that excitement as we start the year. And our teachers really, and our staff, you can feel that walking through the buildings, is how excited they are. There are a few things that are on your board agenda tonight that I want to bring to your attention. First is the early learning plan. Each year, the state requires that we set goals for our students that are specifically in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Those goals are then measured throughout the year 3 times, utilizing a cadence, or what used to be called DIBELS assessment. We also have some responsibilities to progress monitor students of those ages. In the past, the state has set those goals to be focused completely on literacy, but now they have shifted and will also be including numeracy goals. So this is the first year that'll be a benchmark year for math. All of our K-3 teachers and many of our aides are being trained to use that Acadian system, and we'll begin now to really focus on all of the numeracy and literacy skills that we want students to achieve before they reach the end of the 3rd grade. Second, the board will be approving the ESSER 3 grant request. This COVID-related funding requires submission of a district plan. And that plan has to demonstrate that the use of these highly regulated federal funds are for permissible activities. So this would include activities that address learning loss through interventions. And those interventions have to respond not only to academic needs, but also to social and emotional. So the plan also needs to address a disproportionate impact, those who have experienced a disproportionate impact due to COVID-19. So those subgroups would include major racial or ethnic groups, children from low-income families, English learners, migrant students, anyone that may have had a greater impact due to COVID than other students. Additionally, 20% of the overall funds should be expended for those needs. In other words, 20% needs to be for academic and social emotional needs directly for students. The plan includes a description of the impacts of COVID-19 and required that we conduct a needs assessment. So if you remember, in June and July, we sent out a survey to families asking how we might prioritize the money that would be available in an ESSER grant. It was clear that one of the most important priorities for our parents and our staff members at all levels in our organization is to continue to maintain small class sizes. That's something that we've done in Park City for quite some time and will continue to do so. Additionally, our elementary-aged parents or students of elementary-aged students indicated that they support a Friday enrichment activity, while our secondary parents explained that they want to prioritize math initiatives, specifically for students in the middle grades, 6th through 9th. So the other priorities that will be funded for capital improvements or for equipment included UV light equipment that can rapidly sanitize a bus or other areas. So the application that you're going to review and approve includes narratives for both of those areas. It discusses how each need is being addressed, how we have a plan of action to meet the need, and how we will monitor and analyze in the future whether or not we're meeting our desired or intended outcomes. So lastly, I want you to know how proud I am of our teaching and learning team, of all of our administrators and teachers and staff. They continue to work with their whole heart and soul to create the best conditions to get our students here and welcomed this year. As we move into this school year, I'm confident that we'll continue to help all of our students learn and grow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions about ESSER or early learning?
Do not. Mr. Tanner?
Okay, here's the board operations update for 17 August 21. After ending the school year on a hopeful note that the COVID environment was improving, we're, as you all know, entering a new era of battle here. We don't know what it's going to look like yet, but we're prepared. So just want to know that the county numbers right now are manageable. They're in the 5% range for positivity, 5 roughly a day. 6 months ago, we would have considered that to be very good numbers. So we're not entering into a very hostile environment yet. As Dr. Jill mentioned, some of the places without mask mandates are showing very high rates of spread, so we're concerned. But I want you to know that we have all the protocols that we had last year still in place, and then some. But school will start on Monday now with a mask recommendation to wear masks, but we can't mandate it, as you know. And that political debate's probably going to continue tonight. It's probably going to continue across the next couple of months until this Delta variant passes through, hopefully, and we're on safe ground here. But we're prepared with very robust protocols that we talked before. Masks, we have an ample supply in hand. Just as you walked in, you probably saw a table full of masks that we just got from the state there that we're going to distribute out this week. You know, of course, we're focused on indoor air quality. We're not doing so much swapping right now with the smoke, but once the school year gets kicking off, we will. But air swapping in and out will help us a lot. Ionization of the air, UV treatment, and enhanced filtration will all help us keep that air as a very high quality. And as you know, last year we had a very low, not only COVID rate, but we had a very low influenza rate too. In fact, it was almost eliminated last year. So we're hopeful that our procedures will continue to work. You know, of course, we have the expanded hand sanitation stations, touchless faucets and toilets, and we're fogging the rooms nightly again. Transportation, we've got our kids at 2 per seat right now, no space available, masks strongly recommended, and we're going to fog the buses again this year. And if we get the ESSER money that we talked about, we're going to add UV treatment of the buses where we can flip a switch on and it'll sanitize the bus without us having to go in the fog and have a residual coating. So we're trying to get some funding for that. But I just want you to know that we have a good supply of PPE on hand. All the testing supplies we need, I've got 6,000 on hand, about 6,000 more ordered now through the state, which we should have shortly. We're about 12,000 to get us started. I think that should be an ample supply. So we're ready to go to the mat here, and hopefully we won't need stuff, but we're prepared if things get ugly. From a security perspective, the forest fire took front and center here the last couple of days. I want you to know that we work closely with the Park City Emergency Manager, Mike McComb, and FEMA, and to figure out what place was the best place to put our evacuation center, and they need our cooperation to energize the high school. Thank you for letting us use that. So we've got our people out there, we've got it staffed. As Dr. Jill mentioned, Todd Hansen's a miracle worker for pulling it all together for us. He got water out there, got the place opened up, got his staff on site, and we couldn't be more proud of what he did to support that effort. So if you see him, maybe a pat on the back would be appropriate. We've been busy on other things on the security front this summer too. You probably haven't noticed it unless you were looking, but we placed approximately 50 ballards, which are vertical stopping devices in places that were susceptible to vehicular ramming. For instance, we could have driven a truck right to the front entrance of the high school, right into the cafeteria area. Now you can't. Unfortunately, due to supply chain issues, while we have the ballards there, we don't have the covers to slip over and make them pretty yet, and those should arrive in the next month or two. So we'll be looking for those. We also installed door open notification software in the district buildings. So if you remember last spring, we had an instance where we thought maybe some folks got into the school that shouldn't have been there because the door was private. And so now we've got a a system in place that if a door's left open more than a minute, the front desk is notified where that's at, and we can dispatch someone to go take care of that problem. Last spring, our administrative staff went through reunification training. We complemented that this summer by putting together reunification kits for the schools. So now the schools will have basically a go bag that if they got to relocate to another site, they've got everything they need: signage, tape, bullhorns, you name it, to successfully reunite the children who were displaced with their families and make it a non-event. So that's been met with some enthusiasm. Also, we updated all the emergency binder folders that the schools have been using. There were some updates to the SRP protocol that's on the wall over there, along with a lot of other helpful information that will be all in one place for the folks now. And lastly, we enhanced our phone service, our cell phone service, to have what they call WEP protocol, which is Department of Homeland Security priority access to the phone system. That if our people have to make a call out when the systems are otherwise saturated, they can dial a code and get right in and get priority access. So that's been enacted over summer too. From a buildings and grounds perspective, Todd's wrapping up $5 million in capital outlay projects this summer, and it's just done the yeoman's work in getting that knocked out for us despite many supply chain issues. We've had daily issues with concrete, asphalt, playground equipment, furniture, labor, paint. I think one of the funniest things is we can't get any red paint to paint our curves right now. It's just not available anywhere in the supply chain. But we're sourcing it, and we'll get it laid out as soon as we can. So several projects are delayed by around a month, not because they didn't get our attention, not because Todd hasn't been working hard, just because we don't have the resources to get those done yet. We hope to get them complete within the next month, perhaps two. And of course, we'll do those on the weekends or the evenings where we don't impact the children or any safety issues. And thank you for your inputs about some of our errant watering things that have been happening throughout the district. Of course, we're very concerned with the water conservation, particularly this year. We've limited our footprint down to very narrow places where we have been watering. And sometimes our systems malfunction, or a sprinkler head is pointed the wrong direction. And of course, we've got 25,000 people willing to tell us about that. And they do. And we thank them for that. But we every time we have a problem like that, we take it seriously. We get it addressed right away. And we work to keep the water reduction effort moving forward. Transportation, we've got some manning issues there. We're starting the year critically manned. Most of the office staff will be driving, although we just had two subs step up to the plate that we weren't anticipating to help us out at the beginning of the year. So I think we'll be okay on our major routes. We've got 3 new drivers in training that should be complete by the end of September. That'll alleviate some of that pressure. And our recruiting efforts continue, and we're also looking at some pay adjustments and enhancements to help with the retention issue on that. One of the things you just voted on, I don't know if you recognize it, in the consent agenda was a contract for outsourced transportation. So our extracurricular activities, we have a vendor who, for contracted prices, is going to pick up those pieces for us, and Jamie leased those a lot last year. So big thanks to Gary for lining that RFP up for us and getting that enacted for tonight's meeting. As I mentioned, COVID protocol is in place on all the buses, 2%, masks strongly recommended, fogging. Space available, we're not offering it yet. We'll take a look and make sure that the COVID environment has settled down, or if it's going the other direction, we won't enhance it. But for right now, we've just kind of got it on hold for the first month or two, just to kind of wait to see what's happening in that environment before we open it up to anybody. We've got 3 new ultra-low emission buses on order that should arrive in October. And transportation is busy pulling together a procedures manual to help clarify some of the personnel issues that we've had in transportation, and to enhance the communication between the leadership there and the drivers. So I talked to the drivers this morning about that during the meeting, and they were very receptive to that idea. Child nutrition services, we're continuing the free lunches for all of FY22 here. John's had a number of installations of capital project things that this summer, including steamers, freezers, ovens at the high school, Treasure Mountain, Necker, and McPolin. So all of those things are designed to help us increase the scratch meals that we cook enhance the meal qualities, and John's been doing a great job of pulling that all together for us. We've also updated the point of sale system to a web-based system that will allow us to eliminate a lot of the downtime we had in the interface before with PayPams, and it will allow us to do some diagnostics from the management perspective there. Our staffing is mostly up to speed, but we're short one person at Eckerd Hill Middle School, and we feel fortunate in this staffing environment to have just had a shortfall. But that position's been vacant and posted for 8 weeks. We haven't had a single applicant, so give you an idea of what the climate is like for hiring. From a human resources perspective, been very, very busy with SHAD. They recruited and onboarded 74 positions this spring, if you can believe that, with 5 new licensed and 6 new classified positions. 19 positions are still in flux, probably in various stages of the hiring process right now. And we hope to have the team solidified here as soon as we can with the idea of school starting on Monday. We were successful in getting funding from Summit County to hire a COVID nurse who has been identified. I don't know if he's in the door yet. He should be very soon, but he'll be the point person for our testing programs or vaccination programs if we have one, statistics reporting, interface with the county, all those big picture things. And then if we have an outbreak at a school, he'll lead the effort of coordinating all those pieces for us. And lastly, I want to point out, I don't know if Brandon is here, I know he was out, our new SRO, the mountain of a man that you saw walk in here, Brandon, is going to be our new person at the high school. We look forward to working with him over the next year. So any questions for me?
No, thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you need more funding on the bus drivers, or is it within our existing budget?
You know, you did authorize some money to, basically raise on average the wages of the drivers $1 an hour for next year. We're going to, instead of doing like $1 an hour increase, we're looking at incentivizing that. Say if you stay for the year, you'll get a $1,000 bonus at the end of the year, something like that. But of course, to stay competitive in this environment and not have our drivers migrating to better places, funding is a key. So I think in the next budget cycle, we will come to you for additional funding to see if we can't stay out in front of that. It's a chronic issue right now, and it's not only money. It's people are scared of being on buses because of COVID, and luckily we got a pretty dedicated team of core people here, really good. And so, knock on wood, we can weather the storm. But as soon as we can get more drivers, we can start bringing the extracurriculars back in and using our costs there versus having those outsourced. So I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but that's where we're at on that. And so yes, I think we'll come to you for more cash during the next budget cycle.
Is it a benefits position or not?
Yes, you authorized last year, I don't know if you remember, 4 new positions with benefits. So the minute a person walks in the door, they walk right into a slot and they get benefit right away. And of course, that's great. The problem is we haven't been getting people to walk in the door to accept those. So we've got 4 positions sitting out there that are benefited, that are funded, that we just can't get people. And the benefits package here is huge, right? So
Yeah.
For the right person, it's a great incentive. For somebody who's just looking for cash, though, it's not the best thing. So I think we have some other things that we're looking at helping us solve the staffing shortage too. That shorting the footprint for training, making sure that we're tight on our hiring through onboarding, through training process, so we don't lose people along the way. So I think we're okay for right now, but Rich calls me every day on his way home with his hair on fire, and try to keep him on the field. Thanks.
We'll all be driving soon.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's one thing I haven't done yet. Climb on roofs.
Before
I've
work
chased-
session.
Yes, I've chased girls out. Driven the bus here. We will welcome back 4,800 students to start the 21-22 school year on Monday, the 23rd, with a full day of school. Preschool will begin on Wednesday, September 1st, which was always their start date, so that did not adjust. The teachers come back, the preschool teachers come back the 23rd as well. I do want to extend appreciation and add thanks to our whole community for understanding this adjustment of the 21-22 academic calendar to support those who are still displaced during this extended evacuation period as the fight, aerial and ground fight against this Parley's Canyon fire continues, and you're hearing, the aerial go back and forth even now. We are looking forward to welcoming back students for what's certain to be a busy and productive school year. We're so proud of our teachers, our students, our families who successfully navigated a challenging 2021 school year, and we look forward to everyone's partnership in this next year as well. We're looking forward to building on the successes we had last year and providing high-level instruction for all of our students through an in-person instructional delivery model. With regard to the global pandemic, our facilities, administrative, and educational teams are aware of and share the same questions and concerns that we hear in the community. And we do anticipate that the return to school will reflect a new normal, with kids still sitting, facing front for a while rather than in table groups. And we will, as Mike said, continue those updated mitigation efforts. We do encourage KN95 face coverings for both vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals within the school environment. Our Summit County Health Department and Utah Department of Health, as our local and state public health departments, do assist us in maintaining the overall health and safety of our school sites. In a prepared statement, Summit County has provided this information for us. The Summit County Council, County Manager, and County Health Director are committed to taking necessary action available to them within the confines of the law to protect students this school year. The County and Health Department are monitoring local, state, and national COVID trends and discussing possible courses of action daily. The Summit County Attorney's Office is working closely with the State School Board, State Superintendent to come to an accord regarding authority and legal consent. We recognize this is an important issue to parents, teachers, and students, and will release updates as soon as we learn more about the options available to us. The Health Department has continued its work with the 3 school superintendents during this time and is committed to the health and safety of the children and staff within the school setting. Parents, teachers, and school administrators can make a difference by strongly encouraging the use of masks and carefully considering which activities outside of the classroom may contribute to potential exposures and spread of COVID and its highly contagious Delta variant among students. And that was from Rich, who retires on Friday, and Phil Bondurant, who will take over as the health director. We are looking forward to a community outdoors welcome back event at the Park City High School on Dozier Field from 4 to 6 on Friday. This is a great time to welcome new and returning families back to school and just to have a chance to meet each of you, have some quick conversations, and hear about some of the fun partnerships that have been going on to enhance the school district. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Can I just say one thing to everybody? Having participated in the summer school, the ESY and extracurricular, it was phenomenal. And to get 500 kids mobilized and doing all that really cool stuff, it was Herculean, and it was such a great experience. Bus drivers were amazing, everybody. So kudos to the entire team. That was phenomenal.
Thank you. So when we're talking about those ESSER dollars that Dr. Hunt mentioned and how we use them to extend and get kids kind of re-energized in school, that's part of that funding as well.
Phenomenal.
Good.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to our master planning update. I'll turn the floor over to Mr. Halper.
Thank you. We are in the most busy month of this whole process until construction starts. So we've been busily putting together all of the RFPs for the 6 projects, and I'll just give you a status where we are on all of those. So the high school, we've been through the 2-step process. So we've gone through the qualification statement and now through the proposals. Tonight, later, you'll have the opportunity to finish that part of that process and hopefully be able to select our team that will move forward as the design build team for the high school. So that's only the first one. So that's to be squared away tonight. In process right now is the Ecker Hill Middle School process. We finished the step 1, which is the qualifications, And we're now in the RFP process, so they're putting their proposals together now. They're due on the 25th, so next week. So we'll get those proposals in, and then we interview the top candidates on September 2nd. So that one's rolling, it's moving quick. And we just wrapped up the elementary schools. We took the 4 elementaries and actually put them into one solicitation. So their first step just finished last week. Selection committee finished its work on Monday. Yeah, yesterday.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am. And so we'll be letting those top 3 candidates know that they will be eligible for the RFP process, which will then carry us through. So we anticipate that at your board meeting in September, we'll have both the Ecker Hill and the elementary school recommendations ready for your final determinations. To this point, we've been going every 2 weeks. So we've had a solicitation goes out, 2 weeks, the next one, the next one. Well, we missed the idea that you don't meet every 2 weeks as a board. So I don't think you want to meet on September 7th, but that's when the Eckerd Hill one would come up. So what we'd like to be able to do is make a recommendation and work with those vendors, and then at the September board meeting, have you ratify that decision. So we can keep the cycles going, we've got the firms moving, and we're not getting behind on any of our time schedules because of that oversight of you not meeting every other week. Not a recommendation, just a fact of life. So by September, we hope to be all completed with all of those groups. Obviously, the high school group will be moving. We'll meet with them this Friday to get contracts. Hopefully, they accept the contract as written, and we're good to go Friday with that one. And the other ones will be good to go 3rd week of September. So that's where we stand with all of the solicitations.
Perfect, thank you. Great. Anybody have any?
No, I read that 97-page document today. That was
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a beautiful presentation. But I did read it.
To be determined later.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, we will move on to decision-making. First up is the collective commitment on clean energy. And so can I get a motion to adopt the collective commitments on clean energy that reads as the Board of Education of the Park City School District recognizes the deliberate progress already made by the district staff to reduce the district's energy consumption and lessen its carbon footprint through recycling programs, energy smart programs, and environmental responsible and energy resource efficient practices. The board seeks to expand upon those effects and to create healthier, more environmentally sustainable schools, and hereby establishes the following commitments. 1, to purchase sustainable electricity as made available under HB 411 as soon as practical, but no later than 2030, to ensure all additions to schools are built to a minimum LEED Silver standard. 3, to ensure that all additions to schools are designed to achieve less than 35 Energy Utilization Index, or EIU, to study a transition of the current diesel and propane bus fleet to electrical or other low energy use vehicles.
All right, I make a motion to adopt the collective commitments on clean energy as read.
Second?
Do we have any discussion?
No, I think this is awesome.
Very.
Perfect. Well, all in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Oh, I think we can't hear them.
Oh, yeah.
You turn it down.
Yeah.
Aye. Perfect.
Sorry.
Thank you.
What's that, Mandy?
I think that
Aye.
was Wendy and Kara. But you could hear them very faintly.
Yeah.
We can hear you now. Thanks.
They were small.
That was my fault. No, it was my fault. I turned it down.
All right, and now we are on to the SR3 grant application. A motion to approve the SR3 grant application for approval.
I make a motion to approve the ESSER 3 grant.
Second?
Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Perfect. And now we're going to move on to the bond resolution. And I am going to turn the table over to, I'm going to look at Andrew. I don't know if Andrew or Todd wants to start the discussion, but I'm going to let you guys go for it.
Want to start? I'll fill
Sure.
in the gaps.
The purpose of this bond resolution is to follow procedures that allows us to put a bond, a general obligation bond, on the ballot this November in the general election. We are, if you look in board docs, the third document that is listed,
The three resolutions.
number 3,
Yeah.
yep. The significant details are found on page 2, which says, whereas the district does not have on-hand money to pay for all the costs of the project, and the board has determined to finance the cost thereof through the issuance of up to $79,200,000 of its general obligation bonds. Where we are on this is we'll make a motion. This will be held on November 2nd, which is the general election. As discussed at previous meetings, the total amount of capital projects that the district is looking to do is approximately $129 million, including the 6 projects previous outlined. So the 4 elementary school annexes, which incorporates 2 of the schools, a larger project which includes wraparound services, the addition of an 8th grade wing to Ecker, the addition of a 9th grade and CTE wing to the high school. So the total cost of those projects is approximately $129 million. The goal of the board in this resolution is to raise an additional $79 million approximately through general obligation bonds, and then raise the balance of $50 million of financing through real property leases conducted with banks. The reason for that being that we can use existing tax revenue as well as outside funding sources, which include philanthropic and grants, which we've been working on as a district, to pay back the payments of that lease. The lease would be approved on an annual basis as part of the annual budgeting process, and would be specific to certain of the projects that we've outlined here. So that's where we are. What we're trying to do again is build a massive amount of capital projects and do so in the most fiscally responsible way possible, which we have a capital account surplus that we'll be using. We have a capital account budget that we'll be using on an annual basis, and then looking to be as responsible as possible with those dollars on a go-forward basis. The approximate increased taxes on a $79 million general obligation bond is found towards the back of this, right, Todd? I don't know what page, but I think it's $108 for $1 million of home value for a primary residence, which amazingly is the average home value right now in the Park City School District. So for the average home, the taxes will increase by $108 per year, which...
So I've got a new number for you.
Okay.
So it's on page 7.
7?
Page 7. And this is the one that's dated 8/17/21. So on an average primary residence of $945,900, the annual tax increase is $100.18.
Okay.
On a secondary home or commercial, it's $182.14.
So that's basically the same kind of thing, like if for 108 per every million, but the average price is $945, so that makes sense. So $100 tax increase for our average primary residence, which we recognize is quite a bit of money, but we're also trying to keep it at that amount. And again, that's why we're pursuing alternative financing and trying to be creative using as many tools as are possible, given you know the project size. So any questions on that?
I just want to make sure that we're, oh, go
I don't
ahead,
have
give
any
me
questions,
sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
Kara, Wendy,
Yes,
do you have any questions for Andrew or Todd?
not at this point. I had a really great conversation with the both of them earlier, and I do think I understand what they're saying.
Okay. Wendy?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about what I've also been able to review and discuss. So thank you.
I feel exactly, you guys did such a great job. Thank you so much. I do just want to be very clear again. I know Andrew has already said it, but just so everybody understands, we are still looking to finance the 129 and that we are completing all projects that we talked about in phase 1. So not one will become a priority over the other. It will be exactly as how it has been discussed in all of our meetings leading up. I think that's the only thing I wanted to say. Todd, do you have anything you would like to add or?
Yeah, so the decision tonight is how to finance. We've already crossed the bridge of what the projects are, what the scope of those projects are. So this isn't trying to redesign that. This is just how do we put the brick and mortar in the ground and have that space for our children.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the bond resolution as is written and posted in board docs dated today, August 17th, 2021, for a ballot on November 2nd of GO bonds in the amount of $79,200,000. And for anyone who is watching this, we're obviously happy to answer any questions about the tools used and what the thought process is here. But this is just a continuation, as President Grady said, of close to 2 years of master planning and work that's been conducted.
Thank you, Andrew. I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Okay,
So any further discussion?
no discussion.
First, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. All right, we are a little early
Do you want to flip close and we'll come back at 5?
for public comment. Yeah, so let's flip. So let's move to, sorry. Is that?
So just statutes.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, I'll go back. So Wendy and Kara, can you please take yourselves off mute so I can get a roll call? So for our vote on the bond resolution, for the one read by Andrew, for all those in favor, can I get?
Ann Peters?
Andrew Kaplan?
Wendy Coughlin.
So
yes.
Do the other way.
Do the other way.
Call their name out.
Ann
say
Peters?
yes or no.
Yes.
Andrew Kaplan,
Yes.
Wendy Crossland,
Yes.
Kara Hendrickson,
Yes.
and Aaron Curry, yes.
That was
Perfect. Thank you. All right, and I will make a motion to move to closed, since we're a little early for public comment, to adjourn to closed session for the purpose of strategy session to discuss pending and reasonable intimate litigation and deliberation as an evaluation committee to review procurement. Can I get a roll call? Ann Peters?
Here are I.
Yes.
Yes.
Andrew Cowlish? Wendy Crossland?
Yes.
Kara Henderson?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, we will. I'm gonna hang up this phone and we'll call you back. And Aaron Grady,
And Aaron
yes.
You need to have a little sign, it's like, is it here, yes, or?
There's a lot of smoke in
There's a lot of
here.
stuff.
You always say I and
I,
What do you say?
A. I and A. Yeah. Thanks for catching us.
Oh, no. you help me get Karen up on
Take a picture of
the
that and send it to her, can I?
line?
I am so excited. Here, take a picture. You know, with Lisa Bingham, we got to design this out.
Oh, I know, it's been forever. For the leggings too?
Yes.
Okay,
But,
okay.
Alright.
And that's where.
Or do you have any
She's so nice.
public comment that came in?
Designer.
I mean, I'm guessing not, but since
you know,
nobody's
the
here.
designer.
I have a couple on
Oh, my
Facebook
clothes,
that came
my
in.
hair.
I'm just gonna have you post those on the website. Perfect, okay, so then.
Is there some? I am so excited. Tell her to send me any samples.
I will. It's really nice. I've known her since 1997. We've just kind of done that. What a
Please
small
enter a
world.
meeting number followed by pound. If you are the meeting host, please enter your PIN.
The next meeting is what,
And Sarah should be able to call.
oh, okay. Hold on, let me just color. Well, so, and you have received any public comments? We have a couple that you've received and you are gonna post them
Yes, I'll
online for us?
post it on the minutes.
Perfect. All right, well then we will move on to the design build contract. Do we want to wait 1 second, see if Kara calls back in? Let's give her a minute.
Or you can just bring her on yourself.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Well, do you want to dial out on this?
We have.
You can dial out on this.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's gonna try to call in on this. Let's see if she does in a second.
We'll see who's faster.
You take a breath now? So.
Hello?
Kara?
Yeah,
All right, you're back.
okay.
Okay, perfect. All right. So just to keep you up, there is no live public comment. Anybody here for public comment? So we are going to move on to the design build contract. So can I get a motion to approve the design build contract for Hogan Associates Construction, MHTN Architects for the Park City High School remodel?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the design build contract for Hogan Associates and MHTN.
Second?
I second.
All right, any discussion?
No discussion.
Nope.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Perfect, thank you. And then we will now move to adjourn until our next regular session meeting on, what is it, September 21st at 4 p.m.
okay.
Make a motion to adjourn until September 21st, 4 p.m.
Second.
Perfect, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
you.
thank you. You'll have a good week.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thanks, Sarah.
Big